Hey y'all, welcome to the Filling Station. It's another day, another opportunity to either make money in the market or to learn from the market, right? But let me go ahead and give my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth. And the stock market is just one of those avenues, y'all. So this video is for educational purposes only. With that being said, let's get started. So y'all, we are looking at the VIX. And as you can see, we hit a low of 1207 on yesterday. 1207, and we are above that now. We are getting rejected at this ATR trailing stop, which is, we're looking at the 30-minute chart. So around the 1248 area is our trouble place, and as you can see, we've tested this area a few times, so we could very well break through this because we have tested it so many times. Or, you know, this could be our support area and we continue to the downside. Keep in mind, if the VIX does break this area of 1248, you know, our next level on the 30-minute chart is at 1279, which will in turn cause the SPY to go back to the downside based on, you know, the activity. Anything is possible. Let me say that. So right now our trouble places for the VIX is at 1245. That's a 5 EMA, and the 1248 is our ATR trailing stop. We're actually trading in this zone. So I'm going to put an alert to let me know, you know, once it gets above this area, then I'll start watching, you know, making sure I pay attention to the SPY if I trade the SPY. Let me say that. So just know that we're going to have trouble at 1279 today. And that puts us right at the 50 EMA on this 1 hour chart. So the 1244, around this 1244, 1245 area is our support. So we're trading in a very tight range. So the breakout can be in either direction, and it could be a strong breakout. So that's something to be mindful of, right? So now we're looking at the SPY on the 30-minute chart, and the SPY is interesting because it has been trading. I mean, we hit a high of, you know, the 531 area, and then it's just been trading sideways, which we kind of, yeah, I would say, you know, once we've hit a high, we need to cool off. For most of the time it comes back and cool off a little bit, and then it bounces to the upside. But yesterday it seems like the volume was a little bit interesting for me. So today we are looking at, let's say, I always try to go to the 4 o'clock candle, which is here, and as you can see, the price came back to 3 candles at this 4 o'clock area at the 530. So right now the 530 will be our support, which is here, and our resistance is somewhere around the 530.20. So the SPY 2 has been trading in a very tight range, and this here was yesterday's support and resistance. And I always try to not really take those off my charts, but maybe make them a lighter color. If you mark your charts like this, you know, I try to make it a lighter color so I can be mindful of that was yesterday's high or yesterday's low, or, you know, yesterday's support or resistance, right? So right now our support area for the SPY is at the 529.99 area, and yes, we did come down and test this low of 529.82, but price came back up to this level. So 529.99 is my support right now for the SPY, looking at it on this 30-minute chart, and 530.19 is our resistance for the SPY as of now. And keep in mind, anything is possible, y'all. Anything can change, but right now this is our zone. And as you can see, the price really, even though it came down to this, we came back up to this area here, and I'll try to make it bigger here so you can see it. Price came back to where those lavender lines are from the 4 o'clock candle, right? So right now the 5 and the 50 has crossed. The 550 and the 20 is right here together. So right now SPY is on some strong support, or what I like to say, strong support. If we break this level and come back and retest this 529, we can continue to the downside, and 529.91 and 529.71, 529.55 are trouble places for us, or it could, you know, support is what I like to say, right? So to the upside, if we decide to break where we are now, 530.19, we're going to have trouble at 530.25, 530.37, and the ATR trailing stop, which is at 530.63. Those are trouble places based on this 30-minute chart. And as you can see, we are kind of like in the same area on this 1 hour chart. So on the 4 hour, we are under the 5 EMA as of now, which is about the 529, 530.44. We are under the 5 EMA if we break where we are now, the 20 at 529.27, or the ATR trailing stop, the 4-hour is at 526.67. So please note that if we continue to the downside and break under 529.27, we could very well come back down and test this 526.27. And the SPY runs normally about $4.24 per day, and yes, that has changed. And if you look at it on this daily chart, we have been riding the 5 EMA, above the 5 EMA, so it wouldn't surprise me to see it come back and either test this 5 EMA. On the daily chart, it's at the 527.75, which puts us kind of close to the ATR trailing stop right here at 526.67. So if I traded the SPY today, I'll always say, y'all trade carefully, don't rush into your trades, allow your trades to come to you. So NVDA is going to be interesting. It moves on an average of 29.79, and if I'm not mistaken, it reports earnings tomorrow. And so I would say trade carefully, right? So as of now, our gathering spot, or I always like to go to the 4 o'clock candle, is right here. It came down and tested 950.31 and 952.43. This is our zone that we've been trading in, and yes, it did come up and test this 955. So I'm going to mark this 955, but I'm going to mark it as a pre-market high, only because when I went to my 4 o'clock candle, I saw that my price came back to the zone that I had marked. So even though we came up here, look where most of the candles are here. So that's why we call that the gathering spot, or the consolidation area, because even though we came back and tested this, price still came back to this area. So as of right now, I have support for NVIDIA at 950.31 and resistance at 952.43. So we are under the 5 EMA on this 30-minute chart, and we're coming back down. It looks as if, we could very well test that 950.30 area, which is where we're trying to come back to right now, or the 950.06, which is the 20 EMA on this 30-minute chart, and 945.55, 944.37. Those are places that could hold, we can find support and bounce to the upside. Keep in mind, we had a previous support or resistance at 939.20 and 935.89. It would not surprise me to see it come back to this area. Again, I always say, y'all trade carefully, allow your charts to lead you. On this 1 hour chart, we're finding support right here at the gathering spot. So keep in mind the 947.12, 941.17, which is going to bring us closer to the 939.20 and the 935.89. So those are your trouble places for NVIDIA. And when I say trouble places, that's where your support areas are. Now, can we continue to the upside? We very well can. My concern is, we've hit this 955 and we've gotten rejected, and we've come down under the 5 EMA. So I always say, y'all trade what you see. Keep in mind that $26 that it moves on average, $29 that it moves on average can go in either direction once the bell ring. And I always say, once the bell ring, it's go time, right? So anything is possible in the market. Let me say that AMD is interesting as always. For some reason, this trade just reminds me of Tesla. It just does what it does, right? So this is our gathering spot, and we've been trading in this area for a while now. Support is right here at the 165.66, and resistance has been right here at the 166.16. So we've been creating this gathering spot for a few days. So whatever move it makes, it may be a strong move up or a strong move down. Right now, it's right at support at this 165.66, which brings us at the 50 EMA at 165.71. So I would watch this level. And even though we came down and tested this area here at the 165.01, that's a pre-market low, but price still came back to the gathering spot, right? So I would mark that level to know that, if we break this area, we could very well come back down to the 165.40 and then the 165. Below this 165 brings us down to the ATR trailing stop at 164.19. So I would watch that to the downside, 164.19, 162.78, 161.20, which is the 200 EMA, which is very close to the 160.56. So those are our trouble places to the downside. Now to the upside, if it decides to break to the upside, it needs to clear all the moving averages, the 50, the 20, and the 5, and it needs to close above the 166.16. We are going to have trouble at 166.35 and 166.99. So I would definitely watch those areas. If I traded AMD today, and as you can see, we've just been trading sideways, not really going too not really too high or too low, right? So looking at it on this daily chart, it normally moves $5.91 per day, and we broke out of a gathering spot to the upside. We have a little, looks like a smaller gap. Not really. We could say there's some small gaps to the downside, but right now it seems like it just consolidated yesterday. So I would definitely watch where we are now, not rushing again, just allowing it to come to you. And we're going to go to Tesla. And y'all know Tesla is my favorite. I always say Tesla is Tesla. Tesla is an inside day candle. And keep in mind, it is an inside week candle. So let me give the triggers first. If Tesla breaks above 177.75, then the target to the upside is 179.63. If Tesla breaks below the 173.52, then the target is 172.75. And right now we are under the 5 EMA. Well, we're finding support right at the 5 EMA on this 30-minute chart. So Tesla has just been riding this. You know, it came down. Pre-market low is right here at the 173.02. I need to remember that because we tested that, we could very well come back to that area again, even though price came back to this area. So this is our 4:30 candle. This is our 4 o'clock candle. Look where price came back to with Tesla. Even though we came down, you know, it still came back to that area. And I like to mark it so I know exactly what time frame I was using when I marked this. So right now, our support is at 173.79 and our resistance is right here at 174.06. So I would watch Tesla between that range. I wouldn't trade it until it gave me a signal as to which direction it wants to move. And that's interesting. It's always waiting on the move. It's something, yeah, I had to learn that and not just jump into my trades, right? Wait on the move. So my alert would normally be above the 174.34 to let me know that Tesla is above a resistance area or below, I'm going to say below the 173.71, which is another area of resistance of support that I had marked. So I'm going to put it in between that. And it just lets me know I need to pay attention to Tesla. Not necessarily mean I'm going to jump into the trade because it's at that place, because I always try to wait on other confirmations. So to the upside, Tesla needs to break above 174.06. It needs to clear 174.20. And know that we're going to have trouble at 174.34 and again at 174.46. Those are trouble places based on this 30-minute chart. Let's see what we have on the 1 hour. We are under the 5 EMA on the 1 hour chart. We are going to have trouble again at the 174.15 and the 174.46, the 174. It seems like 174.77 area, which is close to this 20 EMA at 174.87 and 175.24, which brings us close to 175. Yeah, 175.24. Those are places to the upside that we're going to have trouble for Tesla. Now let's talk about the downside, right? Because in my opinion, it looks like it's been trying to cool off, but anything is possible with Tesla. We consolidated here and we broke out of that gathering spot, or, you know, it traded in this zone, and now it has, to me, the direction looks to be to the downside. But again, anything is possible. So to the downside, where are our trouble places for Tesla? Right now, if Tesla breaks, let's see, if it breaks that 173.73, which it has come and tested it before, then we could very well find support right here at 173.71. If we break the 173.71, then 173.52 it's going to be a trouble place for us, or support, right? And when I say trouble place, that's something that could stop us and, you know, send us in the opposite direction possibly, right? So the next area of support for Tesla is at 173.06 and this low of 173.02. Below the 173.02 is where I'm putting an alert to let me know that Tesla has broken through pre-market support and it could very well continue to the downside. Keep in mind that if we break below 173.52, we do have a target of 172.75. So those are areas that I would definitely watch for Tesla: 172.75, 172.67. And if we continue to the downside, and Tesla is Tesla, it can move in any direction, and it normally exceeds its ATR. And let's see what that is as of now. It's $6.40, and it normally exceeds the ATR. So I would say if I traded Tesla today, trade carefully right now. I know looking at this, it's like, what is going on? But right now, Tesla has we don't really have a clear direction. It looks like there's a gathering spot here on this daily chart, but we can continue to trade sideways and not really go anywhere. So if you can get in for a scalp, I would say be careful, trade carefully, make sure you have other confirmations, and when you scalp, you get in quickly and out quickly, right? AMC was an inside day, and I thought that was interesting. So if it breaks above 496, the target is 502. If it breaks below 434, then the target is again 434, which is very, very close, right? So it looks as if it's trading in this gathering spot. Right now, our support is at 466, and our resistance is around the 474 area. So if it breaks out of this area in either direction, right now we are under the 5, finding support on the 20, and we have support right here at 464, which is the 50 EMA. Just keep in mind, we've tested this 200 EMA 1, 2, 3 times, so we could very well go in either direction with AMC. I always say, y'all, wait on your charts, trade very, very carefully, and don't rush into your trade. So I'm going to go back to the SPY and see where we are right now. Again, we are still at our support area, which is right here at the 529. Let's see, let me get this off my around the 529 area. Okay, my charts are wanting to be different today. It's okay. We have those days. 529.99 is our support, and as you can see, we are under that. If we break where we are now, we can continue down 529.91 and retest this low here of 529.82. So below 529.82 will be a concern for me. That means we are making low. That means we're coming down from pre-market lows, which could be very interesting. So I always say, y'all, trade carefully, trade cautiously. And I'm going to look at the VIX really quick. The VIX is still in that range of, our resistance is at that 12. Let's say 1247, 1245 area. I would watch that area. So yeah, y'all, I hope these videos are very, very helpful. I always say trade what you see. Don't rush into your trades. Make sure you have other confirmations as to why you're entering your trades. And when it goes against your why, get out. Make sure you set your stop losses. And you know what? The key to trading is discipline and being able to, exercise discipline. So again, I hope these are very, very helpful. I hope that everyone have a very prosperous and productive day. And y'all know I always like to leave you with this: be blessed as well as a blessing unto others. Until next time.